Hi, welcome to the channel. My name's Jolie, and today we are going to be reading Discovering Choices. And it is an Al-Anon literature, and I'm really grateful that you're here with me today. And we have been, this is really the first reading was already done, and now we're on the end of page 12. And I'll just go ahead and just read a few of these. And we're on the chapter called We Start from Where We Are, which is true, right? So I'm going to read the last paragraph on page 12 and just see how it goes, reflect as needed. And at the end, we'll say the Serenity Prayer, okay? All right, thanks for coming. All right, so growing up in an alcoholic family, I was a very angry person. I had no friends, no self-esteem, and no ability to trust anyone. I had no idea how to love myself. I didn't know how to take responsibility for my thoughts, words, or actions. I didn't know the difference between honesty and dishonesty. I was just like my alcoholic parents. And in Al-Anon, I learned that the only difference between us was that I do not have a compulsion to drink. That's the only difference. So for me, so that's just, they have little paragraphs in here. So that's the end of that little story. And for me, this reminds me that alcoholism is a family disease, and it has affected me as well because I grew up in a family that was affected by alcoholism. So uh, interesting that, yeah, the no friends. I never thought I had friends. I did have some friends, but I never invited them over to my house. Or when I was visiting my parent that was the alcoholic, I never had the friends over. I started having um, like my boyfriends over when I was like almost graduating from high school, and uh, the one that I end up, my first husband, and because I thought somehow he would protect me from the craziness, and of course, because I was affected by alcoholism, I was definitely crazy like my alcoholic parent, but the only thing was I didn't have the compulsion to drink. Yes, I did start drinking early in my life because I tried to squash the feelings and thought, it's them, not me. I can handle it. Doesn't everybody do it? So interesting. So it's good to know that and remind myself that it did make me a little crazy, and that's why I keep coming back, because that thinking is like one of the first. Like if I have the first thought that comes out of my head, like I have to pay attention to that and say, like, is that my alcoholism talking? So that's why it's good to have a sponsor and listen to others in meetings to see how they solve their problems. So I'll go ahead and get started on page 13. And I really would love to hear your comments if you have any, because it helps the community of our subscribers, because the service is helping me. Uh, and I know that it's helping everyone too. So we're all helping each other in service. So thank you guys. Here we go, page 13, top of page. I'm a grown man who has been around alcoholism all my life. I didn't realize how much the disease had affected me. I ended up getting married, having children, and treating them the same way I had been treated. Through Al-Anon meetings, though, I learned that I only need to take care of myself. Other things will take care of themselves. So, and I'll keep going here. There's another one. My wife was in Al-Anon for 12 years before I began in AA. She started getting better while I got sicker. She used detachment with love. I got sick enough to hit bottom. I got into AA and our relationship started to get better. We both got involved in service. But 10 years later, I was still making bad choices and trying to fix them all by myself. So things kept building up until I just wanted to end it all. Then one day an Al-Anon member asked if I would like to come to an Al-Anon meeting. That first meeting was on self-esteem. My relationship with my wife is better today than it has ever been. We say, I love you, and we do things together. We also let each other do things and go places on our own. We work our own programs. I thank God as I understand God for helping me find Al-Anon and AA and for keeping our family together. Our house has become a home again. So this beautiful share in this book, Discovering Choices, they're all great. They all are helping me with their strength and their hope of how just like these little things to remind me why I'm here. So I'll go ahead and read the next one. Thanks for staying with me. As an active member of Al-Anon, I continue to experience startling spiritual awakenings. Recently, I was disappointed in several family members who did not do what I wanted. The disappointment became so intense and painful that I finally sought God and surrendered myself and all my ideas about how my life should be. I experienced sorrow and grief in letting go of expectations. Yeah. I stayed with the grief until God revealed the truth to me. It was time to know and accept the truth about myself. Yeah, it's hard. I mean, wouldn't it be nice if everybody just did what we wanted them to do? But that's not how life really works out, right? So both of my parents were alcoholics and impaired by the disease. They ignored my needs, which they discounted or dismissed as unimportant. My family practiced denial daily. Keeping secrets was very important, and anyone who broke that rule was punished. I tried to guess what normal was. I was suffering from distorted attitudes, distorted perceptions, and distorted beliefs. I felt that I was unwelcome and unappreciated. I was consumed with shame, fear, and immense loneliness. When I married and began a family of my own, I was only vaguely aware that I was trying to create the family I never had. I wasn't aware that I wanted and expected my new family to make up for what I missed as a child. Instead of seeing my children as beautiful souls in their own right, I used them to try to fill my own unmet needs. Thanks to this awareness, I have the opportunity to choose healthier beliefs and values. I want to accept, I want to appreciate my loved ones as they are and let go of expecting them to fit my distorted ideas. I now know they don't exist just to make me happy. They don't owe me anything. I owe them amends. I am seeking God's guidance on how and when to make amends. I know what forgiveness is. I know that forgiveness is an ongoing change in attitude that is manifested in my behavior. Again, amends is when an ongoing change in attitude that is manifested in my behavior. So change of action. is the amends. Not just saying I'm sorry, right? We actually do the work to change. So I finally understand my motivations with other people. In my blindness and denial, I thought others were responsible for the quality of my life. I had burdened myself with a belief that I can now let go. My disappointments were always the result of my perceptions and attitudes. I have been on a quest for meaning and fulfillment in my years in Al-Anon. Letting others off the hook is a big step forward for me in that quest. Wow. That's a lot, right? The other day when I was reading Courage to Change about the morbidly reflecting on the past and, you know, what I could have done with my kids, what I did do, the realization that I wanted to, just like this person wrote, I wanted that perfect family that would fill me with people who loved me. Like if I have my children will love me the way I've never been loved before. I'll never be alone. All those things that while I was growing up in that alcoholic environment, I didn't realize that that's what I was doing. But this really clearly allows me to take responsibility and to keep going with this. Keep reading, keep sharing, keep serving, because service helps me. Doing this helps me so much in my spiritual program. So you guys give me a lot more than I am giving you. So I really appreciate you. Honest, like, thank you. So yeah. And I can see the change in myself through the reflection I see in others towards me. So, right, I'm getting them to want to talk to me, wanting to call me, and I'm not telling them how to do their life. I'm just there, encouraging them. You can do it. And maybe let's think about this and, let's just take a minute and it's going to be okay, even if it's not okay. That like all the things I'm learning in Al-Anon, I am using in my life with my family and my colleagues at work, with everything, with just being in traffic, you know, like not trying to control everybody. If I don't want to be late, then it's not going to be the person who's in front of me's fault. It's going to be mine if I don't leave early enough. And if I'm, if there's, God forbid there's an accident, then, it just is what it is. And I'm just going to work on it. It's progress. It's not perfection. Believe me, I've had, a little bit of a week where I'm like realizing these things that are in this book because I've been working on my fourth step, and I will continue to keep working on this because I want to uncover these feelings, the things that I've buried for so long, because in order for me to be okay, I've been squashing them down. And, with work or painting or doing something, keeping busy, losing myself and watching, the real haunted houses in the world. I watch that on YouTube. Like I'm obsessed with that, and I've been watching some. Yeah. Anyway, right. So we get lost in watching the news or something, right? Instead of thinking about like how can I improve in myself, and that's just my story about that. But I'll go ahead and read a little bit more if you guys will put up with it. I'm not sure how long I've been reading and talking, but I think there's just a little bit left on the bottom of page 14, and then we'll go ahead and move on to say our prayer. Okay, so all right, here we go. I entered Al-Anon while my husband was in treatment for alcohol and drug abuse. My daughter was still a preschooler, and it was many years before I would see how much she had been affected by alcoholism and my reactions to it. There's a little bit more. It's on page 15. So one day after my daughter left for college, she called to say she had been admitted to the hospital for cutting herself. I felt her fear. I felt pain, fear, and hurt. I was truly distraught. When she returned home, she was not very talkative at all. Then the day came when she admitted she had a problem. She said she was a cutter, had an eating disorder, and went to a treatment facility, and was both bulimic and anorexic. So she needed long-term care. So then she went to a treatment facility. My heart cried in shame, guilt, and pain. What had I done to my daughter? Without my Al-Anon program, I don't believe our relationship could have been healed. Healing our relationship wasn't about her changing. It was about the changes I needed to make, especially letting go and letting God. I believe God loves her as much as I do, and that she has her own higher power. Today we believe we have a closer relationship than I ever dreamt possible. Today I believe I have experienced a miracle. Our relationship has gone from one hopelessness and despair to one of love, respect, support, forgiveness, and acceptance for each other as we are. I'm really grateful I read that. Okay, so I'm going to share real quick something very, yes, my youngest. Back right when I started Al-Anon, I was still highly involved with my ex-partner, who was an alcoholic, and I'd been living with him for a couple years, and my youngest was living with us as well, and found this out while I was taking care of him, because I was not in Al-Anon. I didn't know what to do because he had gotten himself arrested in another country. And so my youngest was sent to my mom's. And during the time I was in the other country trying to take care of my partner, my youngest called me from the hospital because they were admitted to the hospital from cutting, and also telling the therapist that they no longer wanted to be on this planet. So then he was in a treatment facility while I was in another country taking care of my alcoholic partner. It was one of those like aha moments. Absolutely. I felt it all over my body. I was like, oh no. And I looked at my partner and I was like, I can't do this like I've been doing this. You have to do it. You have to take care of you. And I'm going to take care of myself so that I can take care of my child, my children. And that's how it's going to be. And that was a choice. I had no other choice. That was like, hey, what's going on? You have to, like, you can't do this anymore. So then a few days later I left, and I hadn't gone back because of course, my alcoholic partner wanted me to come back for the holidays and be there because he was going to be in his house arrest because of the drugs and all the things that he had in another country. That you're not allowed to do that. That's not my responsibility. So I had to detach with love and take care of what I could take care of. And that was, I needed to take care of myself and my kids. So yeah, that was like, and so of course he was not understanding, and oh, I'm gonna go marry somebody else. I was like, okay, you do that. It was like, oh, I understand, and now I know you need to be with your kids, and so it was really, um, it is what it is. I was messed up because of my alcoholism growing up with that. Like the way I was thinking, I thought I needed to save him, and of course, I think my kids are fine, but I didn't realize how they were affected. I thought they were fine until I realized they weren't. So, wow. Anyway, that was heavy, heavy duty. But now I just got off the phone with my youngest, and you know, we have a great relationship. We have a great relationship, and it's just going to get better because I'm making amends. I'm actually doing. I mean, I come in here, like I said, so I can make amends to my children because I raised them in a way in my mind to to help me, and that's not okay. So um and I'm not gonna I don't know, I'm not gonna leave. I want to keep going because this has really been helpful to me. My kids are actually wanting to talk to me, where before I was like, I don't understand why they don't want to talk to me. I'm doing everything for them, I'm doing everything for everybody. Yeah. Right. Like, no, that was all that's the denial and the delusion, and yeah. So anyway, all right, so we're going to end here on in mid page 15. I'm going to mark it so I don't forget where we left off, and I'll go ahead and say the Serenity Prayer. Wow, I'm like, I bear it all here. So you guys share, okay? And I appreciate you're here. Okay, here we go. Say the Serenity Prayer. We're going to pray for the still, sick, and suffering. Take a nice deep breath in and be present. That's where the love is, right? Today in A Course in Miracles, what was it? All fear is past and only love is here, right now, present moment. Today, just for today, I will be present in this moment right now. Right, Kitty? Right, Susan? All right. Love you guys. Here we go. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things that we can't change. Can't change the past. To have the courage to change the things we can, the present, what we can do, what we do for ourselves. Only us, right? And the wisdom to know the difference. God's will be done. So keep coming back. It works if you work it. And I'll see you soon, okay? Much love. I love you.